hands up, no turning back.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Strive Tribe Podcast. It's your boy Nick and Devan, back for another video, and today we got a special guest for you guys.
So it's actually one of our trainers, Geraldine, and not only is she one of our trainers, but she was actually one of our first members, and she just recently, in the beginning of the year, won our 11-week elite challenge. Has made huge transformations, and now she basically wanted to progress that fitness journey and take another step and actually join the team. Which we're lucky to have her. So today we want to kind of talk about her journey and her story and dive into it. So going to it, Geraldine, tell us a little bit about your background, or how did you start getting into fitness? What made you, I think you started training with Nick, right? Mm-hmm. So what led to that training, and then, how has your journey been going so far?
I mean, I've known Nick for a long time.
Yeah, you've definitely come a very long way, and I'm so proud of everything you've been through.
Yeah, I feel like I've always liked working out, but not consistent. I feel like I would take one class and then drop it and then do something else. I think it was during the pandemic when I started doing the one-on-ones with Nick that I really got consistent with it, and then I started seeing all the results, and I just kept going with it. And then now here, I mean, I feel like I've been here forever since you guys were at the park, and then here.
But so during the pandemic, when you started working out with Nick, what was your driving force to actually reach out to Nick and actually start training with him? What in your life, or what events kind of led to you realizing that you wanted a trainer?
Well, I feel because our body changes. I have 2 kids, so I was gaining weight over the pandemic, and I just wanted to get more fit. And also, I was a little bit depressed, so that helped me out a lot. Just getting back into a routine and keeping it, and seeing all the progress just made me even happier.
Oh, definitely. And,
yeah.
And going from that to now, I mean, knowing you since the park, I know Nick's known you longer, but you've always been someone, at least that I've seen, that has had high energy, and one of those things where, at least in the gym and in the park, you started to become, more and more energetic and motivating even to other members. But was that you also, when you were just training, was she always like that when you guys were training?
No, so I mean, the energy level was progressive as well.
Yeah.
When you first started with me, I know you were still kind of skeptical, but also kind of to yourself, in a sense of how much you pushed yourself, and I've seen that progress over time, towards the tail end of our one-on-ones, and then into the park, and then transitioning when you came with us here, when we first opened. So yeah, super, definitely you can tell the difference. I wish we can put a video of a documented video of your energy, and even your self-drive through the workouts. So it wasn't always like that.
Were you skeptical because the first time you showed up? I mean, just you've grown, Nick's grown, right?
Yeah.
And he's grown to the point where he doesn't wear long socks anymore. And then I know you probably walked up and you're like, "Yo, I hope your training's better than your fashion."
This was had a really bad tan, so I would always wear long socks. And Devin never let that go.
No, because he would wear short socks, and then there'd be a huge tan line, and I was like, "Wait, your skin's just as white as the sock. You don't even need it, bro."
And it came from the park, because we would be standing outside the park, and
No, that came from your lifestyle.
From your lifestyle.
That was not from the park. We only did the park for a year, and you were only there for
I got burned over that duration of the year.
I mean, I noticed that too, though, because when I would go to your house, sometimes you'll be on in slides,
Yeah. Training in the chop.
Yeah, so I mean, but no, I wasn't skeptical because.
No, but I did want to. Aside from that, I did want to ask you the different. The different challenges and obstacles that you've had to face, and the differences of the obstacles and challenges from when you first started. When you're starting to get comfortable with the one-on-ones, into the park, into later. Now kind of where you're very knowledgeable, you pretty much are working out as well on your own, the different challenges and that you've had.
I feel when I first started with you, also my self-esteem was really low, so I feel I didn't believe in myself like that I can do the workouts, but you always would like push me like, I got you, like, you know? So that always like helped me out. And then as it progressed, I feel like even with my progress, when I started seeing progress, I was like more like, you know, self-confident. So that helped me out, that I'm like, I can do it. Like, I can do it. I remember you telling me the first time, because you would give me homework to do at the gym. Remember that? And I remember showing up to the gym, and I remember texting you like, there's like a bunch of people, like I can't do this workout by myself. And you're like, just walk in there like you own the gym. Like, you got this. Like, you know the workouts, you know? And then that, like, I would have that in my head all the time. Like, okay, like, I got this. Like, I know there's other people that probably not looking at me, but, you know, you always get, like, scared or whatever.
And I remember that conversation. Yeah, exactly. And, like, I knew exactly how you were feeling, because, like, it's a natural and normal feeling, especially when you're starting something off, which applies in everything, not just working out, anything in life.
Yeah.
And I remember that you took that and you're like, okay, like, I'll try it. And I was like, and don't forget too, aside from that, is that when you go in there and you do the exercise that I give you and you're working out, whatever you're doing, don't forget that you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
You're not doing it for the people that are looking at you. You don't even know why they're looking at you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You're there for yourself, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'll try to keep that in mind. And then as time progressed, you're like, okay, yeah, what's the next homework? What's the next homework? So it's like
get
that.
it. Yeah, for sure. Especially, I feel like because I'm a girl too, like going into the weight room, especially when I would do like upper body or something, I would be like super intimidated, because I'm like, it's just all men. And I'm like here, and I feel like they're looking at me like, what is she doing here? You know? But you would always tell me like, you got it. So I would always have that in my head.
No, yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people have that fear of the weight room, especially, right? Because there is so many people in there, and there's, you know, buff dudes, you know, buff girls, like, but at the same time, you're worried about everyone looking at you and judging you, when in reality, they're just focused on themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you might think they're looking at you, and I guarantee you they're staring at themselves in the mirror, you know, and you just happen to be in the frame, but they're not even really caring what you're doing. So it's like you working yourself up and basically not doing something, or holding yourself back from going to try it because you're worried they're going to be judging you. And when in reality, like, those are the same people that if you were to ask them a piece of advice, 9 times out of 10, that person would give you the advice.
Yeah.
You know, there are those, you know, assholes in the gym that, you know, basically don't want to talk to anyone. But at the same time, the gym community in general is pretty welcoming, as long as you know, ask. You know? So, like, did you feel when you were in like that weight room and stuff, did you end up like talking to other people, or, you know, making, you know, any like gym friends, I guess, or like gym like acquaintances that, you know, you would say even just what's up to as you would, you know, be in the weight room?
I feel like, yeah, maybe like just say like what's up to, but not really talk to people. I feel like I get in the zone and I like just stay in the zone. And then I realize how other people, I'm like, yeah, they're probably in the zone. They're probably like zoned out. They don't even see me, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm over here worried, like you said. But yeah, I'll say like hi to people, like regular people that would be there all the time. Plus, I would go sometimes at like 2, 3 in the morning, because I would go to like 24. Oh, hell. You know? So usually there would be nobody, or it would be like regular people that, you know, would go at that time all the time.
Yeah. Well, the people that are going at 2 or 3 a.m. are psychos, first off.
I'm a psycho, man.
And not in a bad way. But at the same time, like, even when I had I told you this before, like, I always had 5 a.m. clients when I was doing personal training, right? Mm-hmm. If my 5 a.m. client didn't show up, I didn't work out. I went back to my car and went to sleep for an hour. Like, any other time throughout the day, like, passing like 8 o'clock, you know, in the morning on, if someone canceled, I would work out. 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., like, you're good. Like, I'm gonna go get breakfast, I'm gonna take a nap. Like, hell no. Like, but it's just, everyone has their own time that they're motivated to work out. Like, for me, that early, like, the weight just seems heavier. Like, things are just harder for me that early in the morning. But I'm also the same person that can lift at, you know, 9, 10 p.m. at night and crush it, you know?
I can't do that.
I feel like because for me, it worked out because my kids were asleep, you know? So that would work out for me, going that early and then still getting home and they're still asleep, and then I can spend some time with them, you know?
Honestly, like now having a daughter, like I definitely see that. So now my workouts are late. Like besides like working and stuff, it's one of those things where like I know that like that prime time when you get to spend time with the kids and stuff like that is like precious time. So spend time and you work out around that. So it basically doesn't limit your hours. I would not sell at 2 or 3 a.m. right now, but you know, I do understand that.
Yeah.
With your growth and with your mindset shift, in just your fitness journey alone, like there has been more recently too, even more of a like social media presence of yourself, you know, whether it's you making reels of yourself, you being more open about your journey on social media. What led you to take that step? Because I mean, that's huge for a lot of people that get to see someone being open and honest and not just showing like the wins, but showing like the start and into the current.
Yeah.
And then also you're going into your reels of like your motivational workouts with like the motivational sound behind it. Like, what made you take that step and actually, you know, take that? Because that's hard for a lot of people.
I feel like because there is a lot of members that always tell me like, hey, like I look up to you, or like, you know, I want to be like you, or like you motivate me and stuff like that. So I feel like that makes me feel good, and I want to help whoever I can, you know, even if it's like one person, like I don't care. Like if I'm your motivation, like I got you, you know.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing with training too. Like even with you coming onto the team and everything, it was like one of those things that knowing that you had that mindset, and just also from like your social media, but just knowing you as a person, you want to have that impact, whether it's one person, whether it's a class of people, or, you know, 100 people. That's the quality of a trainer that people don't realize. Like, it doesn't matter how many people like your post or, you know, anything, but if you can help one person, motivate one person, give one person knowledge or, you know, whatever, that's all it's done for. Yeah. You know, is it cool? Like when you get a bunch of likes and stuff like that? Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you're doing it for the right reasons, it makes it worth it.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
It also makes it less nerve-wracking when you're filming yourself or you're taking pictures and stuff, because you know you're doing it to motivate someone else. You're doing it not for you and for your, you know, basically praise, but you're doing it to show people like you can do it too, kind of deal. Yeah. You know.
And I mean, even when I post stuff like that, like I'll get members like messaging me like, hey, like I like your post or whatnot, you know? And I'm like, well, if I'm motivating you guys and I'm pushing you guys in the gym, like I need to push myself too. And you guys need to see that too, you know?
Right.
Because I feel like if they're just like, okay, she's pushing me, but she doesn't even work out, or like, you know, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, that's very respectable, because like you said, taking what you said in the beginning, that when you didn't have that confidence and that base foundation of self-belief, that, you know, I mean, it could have been me, it could have been anybody that truly genuinely cares about you, to be that foundation for you. Like, hey, you got this, and I got your back, I support you. So you are able to pretty much like a baby, get up, step, you know, progress, and you start taking your own steps until you're able to run. And the fact that you translate that, because now you're now at your current level, and you're able to do that for the members, push them. It's a non-monetary reward. It gives you purpose to do what you do. It gives you that happy feeling in your heart that no money can buy. And that's how you know you have the passion and drive for doing what you do. Right? I can relate to that 150%. And
I mean, I've told you that I was like, not in a million years did I think that I was gonna be a trainer, you know, or like be in front of a lot of people. Like I get super shy, like speaking in front of people. So I'm like, not in a million years, but here I am.
Exactly. And that was like the one thing too that, you know, I talked to Nick and I actually talked to you about. It's not the easiest shift. One, to go from even just being a one-on-one trainer to being like a group trainer, but to go from being, you know, one of the members and essentially now joining the team, and now you're training essentially your previous peers. You know, there's also a mindset shift and an identity switch that you have to realize. And like seeing you train today and seeing just like, you know, you over the course of you being on the team, it's slowly getting there, and it's gotten so much better since when you started. So when you first started, like you were off on the side. Yeah. It was one of those things where like, you know, me and Nick talked, and it was like, look, like it's going to be about a month before this happens. You know, Alyssa went through the same thing. It's a weird switch. You know, you're yelling at your friends. Right? So, but you've definitely grown on that aspect, you know, and that's a huge thing. One thing I want to touch back, we were just talking before this, about how Caleb, you know, your son is starting to work out and stuff here and there. Your journey alone, like just your transformation where you came from, has so much impact on both your kids that, you know, you don't always realize and see. And like you'll notice, like, you know, when, you know, let's say like one of them wants to work out with you, like that's cool. But the work, the dedication, and the hard work, like when no one's looking, they still know it's happening.
Yeah.
So later in life, when they're going to do something, that's the role model that they're reflecting on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of those things where, you know, I talked about it on a previous podcast, and me and you have talked about it. It's like when people ask, you know, if you're going to do this or whether you're going to do that, it's like you don't always have to say it or show it or promote it. But at the end of the day, if you're doing it and your kids are seeing it or just witnessing it, like that shapes them to be the same way, versus you taking the easy way out and be like, oh, it's too hard, I'm not gonna do that, or, you know, I just like eating more than I like, you know, results. Then that's the person they become too. It just gets handed down. So like, I just want to commend you on that, because that's huge, especially both your kids are young. You know, that's going to shape them over the next few years, and watching you continuously grow on your own journey, not just as a trainer with us, but like on your own journey and getting, you know, mentally stronger, physically stronger. Like your kids are with even though they don't see it now, when they're older, they're going to be able to, you know, quote that and be like, she was one of my biggest role models.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like even when I was doing the 11-week challenge, you know, I bring them all the time, right? Even if I don't have somebody to watch them, I'll bring them here, and I'll tell them the night before, like, hey, we're getting up early. You want to stay up? That's fine, but you're still getting up.
Yeah.
Like, we're coming. And sometimes they'll be like, Mom, but like, come on, you worked out yesterday. Like, why do we have to go again? And I'm like, because we got to be consistent. Like, we got to be consistent. We got to show up. Even when we don't want to do it, we got to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
And they'll be like, but why? And I'm like, you'll know why later on. I was like, but we're getting up and we're going. Like, no matter what. They're like, okay, fine. And then towards the end of the challenge, I feel like they were just like, more like hype men. Like, they were like, okay, Mom, let's go. You know? Like, you got this.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Even the progress of the support of your own kids, like, it's amazing to see that, you know, and like those little things that you do for them now. I don't have kids myself.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it. I kind of live vicariously. I live vicariously through you guys, but like those little things.
Heard that soon.
Oh, here we go. Yo, what's that? But
no, that's not getting edited out.
That's fine. It's just if you guys just see me walking crying, like, you okay? But later on, when they do, like Devan was saying, like when they do grow up, those little things are gonna have such an impact because it was already early instilled in their brains. You know, that it's gonna be, without them realizing it, it's gonna be becoming a part of their foundation, which is what they're gonna owe you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's mad respect too.
I know.
I did want to ask you, because I'm sure a lot of the members or a lot of people in general that want to kind of do like a specific program, or they're doing the 11-week challenge with us. As a mom with 2 kids, with you having to work around your work schedule, taking care of them, having to come in and get your workouts in consistently, as well as like prepping your meals on time, I'm sure those came with not just time but schedule, you know, challenges as well. What are the best tips that you would give that to anybody that is having trouble, or as much as it sucks to say, but using that as a crutch or as an scapegoat as to why they wouldn't do an accountability or some type of program to give themselves the accountability and that push that they need? Oh, I don't have time for this. I can't prep my meals, so I can't do it. I don't have time for this. I got the kids. I got work, so I can't do this. Yeah. You clearly did it, juggling everything. So what are the best tips that you would give?
I feel like just people complicate themselves a lot of the time. Like even with the meals, like doing the 11-week challenge, like the meals are not that hard. Like some of the meals you don't even have to cook. You just put stuff together and that's it. You don't have to like spend hours and hours in the kitchen and like making all these like fancy meals. It's like simple. Just keep it simple, especially if you have kids or if you don't really have time. Then just like keep it simple. Don't like complicate it. And just like schedule like little times to like, you know, you don't have to meal prep for the whole week if you don't have that time, but like you can meal prep for like 3 days, you know, and then another 3 days or whatever, you know? If you do have the whole day, okay, like let me just do everything all at once and then get it over with and that's it, you know? And then with the workouts, just like showing up, even if it's like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, just move your body.
No,
yeah.
And then, I mean, I know you touched on the challenge and stuff too. With you being like, the last challenge, you know, we did a little different than we're about to do the next one, but you were technically a double winner. With that, if you weren't on the team, because I know you said you wanted to do it again, we basically told you, it's not really fair because you got like an upper hand. But if you weren't like on the team and stuff, is that something that you would want to do again, and why?
Hell yeah, I would. Because I want to progress. I want more progress, you know? And I feel like that pushed me a lot. Like definitely like, even like looking at pictures, like I didn't even think that I looked that way until I looked at the picture and then like looked at the final result and I'm like, damn, like how did I even get there?
Yeah, honestly, when we were making the progress pictures for everybody, we were like, damn.
Yeah.
Like just impressed, like you and as well as like a lot of the members, like the transformation, like it's crazy to see how the human body transforms in, you know, a decent amount of like time, you know, on something consistent. Like, it was just crazy. It was just like, that's pretty damn good.
So yeah, I would definitely do it again, just to see more progress and just because I feel like I like the challenge. Like I'm like, okay, I get in the zone and I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this.
So is it, because I mean, it's not like the workouts were different during the challenge,
no.
Right? So with saying that, you know, because some of the members have been asking me, you know, and I know you guys as well, but since the workouts are the same workouts, right? And nutrition is nutrition, you know, and yes, during the challenge, we give you meal plans, like, you know, personalized to you and stuff. Which this challenge, we actually have an app. It just got in the Apple Store and stuff. But those meal plans, obviously, it's us telling you how to do it, right? But do you think that the competitiveness of like trying to get first place or trying to get second place was a main push for your motivation throughout? Or because I mean, it's again like since the workouts didn't change, and if you were to be given the meal plans, let's say this whole time, not being on a challenge. Do you think you would have had that competitive drive or motivation without having that challenge?
I feel like no, that definitely pushed me, especially when I would come in and like, you know, sometimes like Maddie specifically would be like, you're in first place, you're going to lose it. And I'm like, hell no, I'm not going to lose it. So it would be
like a wolf.
It would push me. I'm like, let's go. I'm not losing it.
Yeah. See, if you're that wolf at the top, like you can't like be comfortable. You can't get complacent. You gotta keep going.
Gotta keep
I
going.
heard that somewhere.
I don't know if you're talking about for episode 41. I don't know if it's actually 41, but
that was a really good one actually. So if you guys haven't heard it, go listen to that episode.
No, and actually, I was having a talk with one of our members this morning going into that though. She was, you know, asking me basically for me to tell her about the challenge. What is the challenge? What's the purpose behind it? And basically she told me her goals. And I was like, you know, we could be working on this now. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, I know, but, and then after explaining the challenge, like we're not one of those gyms that is going to be doing challenges every 8 weeks and then all of a sudden it ends and then a month later another challenge. Because then at the end of the day, like your gym is just a gym that's doing these 8-week intervals of being good and then not being good for a month, right? So when me and Nick like decided to do the challenge, we didn't have it for the first year of us being open because we wanted to be different and we wanted to make sure that it didn't take away from what our actual true meaning is. So we only do it twice a year, right? You know, in the beginning of the year and then right after summer, but it ends, you know, a week or two right before Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's and everything. So, I mean, the reason for it is to give you that little extra motivation, like you're saying, to push yourself to see results so that hopefully that you stay on top of it through like the basically the beginning year and then basically the holidays. But with winning, you know, and honestly having crazy results in 11 weeks is they're not just results that, again, with our challenges that we do, like other people that I'm not going to name names, but where there's like tilapia and, you know, basic greens for the last week to look good for pictures. But at the end of the day, we don't even post the pictures unless you guys are cool with them. Yeah. Like we don't use your guys' transformations as just promotion for us.
Yeah.
if you guys send us it and we ask, and you guys are cool with it, then we'll use it. But if not, like, it's for you, right? So with that, like, our challenges are made so that you should be staying pretty consistent throughout, right? Since that last challenge, have you stayed pretty consistent? And then also, second question, like, post-challenge, now being a part of the team, but also, what's your advice for the people that are about to start the challenge? What got you to first place, whether it's something mentally, motivational, any advice or any, tips?
I feel like I've been on my nutrition, but I feel like now I'm like focusing more on like building muscle. So I'm not eating like little meals, but I feel for the ones that are going to start, just like getting in that mindset. Like, it's not even being cocky, but just like getting in your head, like, I'm going to get first place. Like, I'm going to win this. Like, no matter what, like, I'm going to win it. Because if you're doubting yourself, then obviously you're not going to do the things. Like, literally, I would take my meals, and I would tell you, I would take my meals. I would go to a party. I would go out with my friends. I'm taking my protein shake. They would laugh at me. I don't care. I'm going to stay on track.
Yeah.
I would take my meals with me. Like, you're not going to eat like pozole or whatever. No, I'm good. I'm going to eat this right now.
Yeah, you said no to pozole. I'm just kidding. That's one of my favorites.
That's my favorite too. So I would be like dying, but I'm like, no, like, this is more important to me than anything. Like, I want this, Yeah. So it's just as much as you want it, that's how much you're going to try, But yeah, just like getting in that mindset. Or even like starting out like little by little right now, just like, eating like smaller portions or drinking more water or anything like that. I feel like it will help. Doing like an extra round or like 2 stations more, like anything.
And then, we always ask people that come on the podcast, what is the best advice or best thing someone's told you? And it doesn't have to be in fitness, it can be in anything, right? So the best like advice, help, tip, whatever. And then also, what's the worst thing or tip or, advice someone's given you in life?
In life? I feel like the worst thing that somebody told me was that I can't do it. And then it made me push myself because I'm like, no, I'm going to show you I can do it. And I can do it 10 times better. The best advice, I feel like it was just like my parents were always, like, they would always believe in me, like, no matter what, like, if you want something, like, you're going to get it. I feel like that helped me out in life and just in general.
That's awesome.
Just like pushing myself.
That's awesome. No, honestly, I know Nick and I are so thankful for having you like on the team, and honestly, just to get to know you, over the last couple of years. Because you are an energetic person, and honestly, you're a huge value add to the team. So, I want to thank you from both of us for wanting to step up and actually join the team, because I know when we were looking for another trainer and stuff, like you actually reached out and it was like, hey, like, is it cool? I know, remember, is it cool? And honestly, it's been awesome having you on the team. So I just want to thank you from both of us.
Yep, we're truly appreciative, and like I kind of had that talk with you and Nick. As well, after that one shift, that aside from the members and like the main reason why Devan and I push to do our hardest and our best in everything that we do to create everything and to progress for more, a humongous chunk of that is for you guys, the team, to see you guys excel and progress as individuals, not just professionally, but also outside as an individual. Like, those things are kind of like what you said with the members. It's a non-monetary reward to us to know and see you guys grow, progress, and we're thankful for all of that. So,
I mean, I'm thankful to be part of the team too. Because like I said, like, I never even thought that, that's whatever happened.
No, honestly, and we hope that you as we grow into like the franchising and stuff like that, like our goal is to create more opportunities and more growth for you and for the rest of the team. So I mean, obviously the sky's the limit. So we hope that you see that too and keep growing with us.
Oh, you guys are stuck with me.
Remember the box, like whatever. Most of the time, people think what's just in the box is what it is. Like we don't know what like opportunities, positions, or anything that may come about.
Yeah.
So think outside of it.
I know.
You know, because we're not in a Jack in the Box that you're just
I
waiting
know.
for. You gotta just pop out and like find your own thing. You know?
And I am. I remember you asking me like, you sure? Like you have another job, you have kids. I'm like, I got this. Let's do this.
That's right. And it wasn't like like it was. I didn't mean
Yeah,
like,
no,
to
yeah.
discourage you. It was like, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
And I know you got it.
Yeah.
You're just stepping up to it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we appreciate you for being on today, and honestly, thank you for being part of the team. Truly.
Yep. Thanks. And you guys make sure to talk to G. If you haven't had a chance to talk to her, ask her questions, anything later, give her a high five, anything again, make sure you guys do so. She's here for you guys. So.
Yeah. You guys can always DM me anything. Ask me questions.
And then we'll put your Instagram and stuff like that in like the little tagline of the description too. So, but definitely, follow her. She does have a lot of motivating, reels of her working out and stuff too. And, she'll be more and more on the Strive page as well. Definitely reach out, ask her any questions, because she's just like you guys. She was, in one spot of her journey and just starting like you, and now has, only excelled and continues to excel. So, but make sure you guys reach out to us, reach out to her, ask her questions, ask us questions so that we can, bring them up in another podcast. But we'll definitely have, G on for, another episode in the near future. That's not just about her journey, but, we'll talk about something.
I'm going to be extra buff.
Should do a competition, and then we'll go, the episode will be about how the competition went.
All of a sudden, we're just like, all right, G, stop trying to tear your shirt. Relax. But no, truly, thank you guys. Thank you, and thank you guys for tuning in today. Please follow her, follow us, and make sure you guys ask questions.
See you guys in the next one. Later.
Later.